Good evening, everyone. It's serotonin. I just about a little while ago finished watching the Tiffany FitzHenry video that I recommended to you earlier today in its entirety. I got about halfway through it and did the video, and then I finished it. And I am so impressed with this woman, and not just her journalism skills, but just who she is as a person. And so I wanted to sort of bookend the first video with, I'm going to read out this article. It's not super long, and it involves Ellen, who I have a bit of a bee in my bonnet about, but I'm also starting to remember right now I'm talking about it, that we have to recognize that so many of the people that are there to ensnare and trap us, like on the front lines, are there because they are puppets. So, we have to remember that these people uh, don't own their own body, possibly not even their own soul. They are being controlled. And actually, the article that I read prior to this one is actually this one here, and it's very well written, and it's basically saying that there's a disproportionate amount of people in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry who have had endured child sex abuse, um, and as children they are victims of it, and that this is primarily the people who create the veneer of the glamour, of the charm that is the fakery of Hollywood. So that is the Hollywood, the Hollywood, the wand that casts the spell. So anyway, here we go. Ellen and the Fall of the Bloodline Aristocracy. There is a new idea that's begun swirling around in my head the last week. Our planet is undergoing a change in management. As I've realized this, I've started to look at things quite differently. I've begun to see that all the chaos and fighting, the manufactured mayhem, the Soros-funded protests, the people like Meghan McCain screeching at Americans about the dangers of pulling out of Syria, all of this is nothing more than dust and debris that's created during construction. Preach, sister. I love the way this woman thinks. We align very much. It is a bloody mess, yes. But the demolition always comes first when you're making improvements, and right now our planet is getting an upgrade. We are changing management, and because we are, everything is changing. For as long as history has been recorded, and likely a lot longer than that, our fair planet has been under this false dark rule. Up until this very moment, in fact, we have been under the management of a closed group of self-appointed bloodline aristocrats. This has always been the case, whether we knew it or not, and most of us, particularly in America, did not. At least back in the Middle Ages, populations knew they were being ruled by monarchs. They were told openly. Monarchs. The monarch. MK Ultra. What? Right? It's just so... Honestly, etymology, if you don't yet know that about me, I just love it so much. It's such a map to what they hide from us. Okay, they were told openly. Class and class system were an accepted part of their lives and their societies. Over the last couple centuries, individuals and groups of individuals began communicating more. As they did, people began awakening more and more. The more efficiently we began to communicate amongst ourselves around the established power structures, sharing information and ideas, the more this bloodline system has had to adapt. Eventually, it had to go completely undercover, but it was always very much still there, operating in the shadows, holding and pulling all the levers of power of every industry and government on the planet. And that's what makes exposing it so much fun. That's what makes finding cracks in the well-polished veneer so exhilarating. This whole false bloodline elite world is and has always been built on an illusion which our awakening obliterates. I love the way she thinks and writes. Case in point, last weekend when Ellen DeGeneres and George Bush attended a Dallas Cowboys football game, together we saw together, what we saw wasn't what they wanted us to see. What we saw wasn't the illusion. It was the plain and simple truth. But I was holding the new iPhone, Ellen even shrieked when people were instantly seeing things differently than she wanted them to. Ellen has perhaps had one of the biggest roles in manufacturing the illusion upon which their whole false world depends, which is why it's so fitting that what she truly is proving to be a massive red pill for the masses. The engineers who orchestrate these things only know how to operate when dealing with a sleeping population. They only know how to manipulate zombie consumer voters. Our sudden mass awakening has turned their world completely upside down. Controlling our perception has slipped through their fingers as has controlling our ability to communicate. This is what we see them clawing to protect. But this genie is not going back in the bottle. Not ever. No one who wakes up can or ever will go back to sleep. The article I wrote about Ellen behind the illusion Ellen DeGeneres has been read and shared millions of times over the last month. That's millions of people on whom the illusion they depend on will never work again. And it was a really good one. Ellen DeGeneres, Deep State Clown Exposed. We are the news now. Ooh, I'm going to have a look at that in a bit. This past week, I was contacted by and appeared on RT to discuss the research from that article, which illustrates how Ellen and Bush are two sides of the same coin. Then last night, I came upon a powerful video remix made by a man named Raphael Shimunov. I'll just go with that pronunciation. He took Ellen's monologue where she addressed the football game controversy and edited over images from the Iraq War. I posted the profound, thought-provoking video on Twitter. How do I know the world is waking up? This video exists and is going viral. Ellen is fighting to take it down despite fair use laws which protect its vital form of social and political critique. Exercise your free speech. Share. So definitely check out that video. I'm not going to show it as I just don't want to get dinged for copyrights. I don't want my videos taken down. So I'll provide you all the links and you'll just have to do that part yourself. Sorry. And when I woke up this morning, the tweet was no longer there. Film Ninja says, damn, I just watched at Tiff FitzHenry's post of Ellen DeGeneres saying how she was good friends with George W. Bush and wiped out how we can have differences with others and still be friends. And it got wiped out in real time just now. Suck it, Jack. Make no mistake, this is a war of information and we are all Thomas Paine. He's in case you don't know him, he's like a vlogger. Or not a vlogger at all. He's a truther. He's a truth finder. He's great. So just sorry. I think he's aimed for truth is what his thing is. Controlling our reality is their objective. It's the only means by which they ever maintained control. Sharing what they don't want us to see is our duty, and it will serve to liberate humanity. Here's the full video. Ellen's people have been going all over Twitter having the video taken down, claiming copyright despite fair use laws. This is a video that needs to be seen, and it will be. The time of the Bloodline aristocracy has ended. And I agree wholeheartedly. It's over. We're just seeing the dust that gets blown up when the giant falls dead into the dirt. I'm 100% independent and reader funded. Oh, I'm not. I don't ask for money. Nobody funds me. That's her. Anyway, check her out. Tiffany FitzHenry or at Tiff_ FitzHenry on Twitter for those of you that twit. I do not. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Please, I encourage you to check out her videos and her website. She's fantastic. Have a great night.